You've pushed yourself with rigid routines, early alarms, and endless to-do lists, convinced that more discipline would finally unlock your potential. But after years of grinding, you're still stuck in the same patterns, exhausted and unfulfilled. I get it. I chased that illusion for 7 years, only to burn out repeatedly. The truth is, discipline isn't your ally. It's a finite resource, like a battery that drains fast, leading to identity lock, where your brain clings to old limits. Today, I'll show you how the 1% ditch willpower for inevitable systems that make success passive key. We'll cover 2 pillars: environmental design to remove friction, and identity inevitability to rewire your core. But first, understand why your current approach guarantees failure. Discipline feels noble. It's that direct swap of willpower for results, pushing through resistance one task at a time. You wake up at 5 a.m., hit the gym, knock out, work, goals, all on sheer mental force. But here's the catch. It's linear, like charging a battery that depletes with every use. Your willpower isn't infinite. It's a shared pool that runs dry by afternoon, leaving you depleted for the rest of your day. Science backs this ego depletion. Studies show self-control weakens like a muscle after exertion, making later decisions sloppy. You start strong, but by week 2, the effort feels impossible, and that's when the cycle breaks. The real damage comes from moral licensing, that sneaky justification where one win buys you permission to slack off. You crush a workout and think, I earned this donut, or finish a project and binge Netflix guilt-free. It sounds harmless, but it erodes progress, turning discipline into a yo-yo-yo. Highs of achievement followed by crashes of self-sabotage. Over time, this drains not just your energy, but your belief in yourself, locking you into a performer identity where every slip confirms you're not disciplined enough. You're not failing because you're weak. The system itself is rigged against sustainability. I lived this trap for 7 years straight. I'd stack habits like a pro meditation apps in the morning, meal preps on Sundays, productivity timers all day. I'd read every book on grit, set non-negotiable rules, even joined accountability groups. For a month I'd soar, goals crushed, energy high. Then, inevitably, life hit a deadline, a cold, a family issue, and the battery died. I'd quit everything, beat myself up, and restart the cycle, adding more rules to fix it. My bank of motivation never grew. It just leaked out faster each time. By year 5, I was a shell, resenting the very discipline that promised freedom. It wasn't laziness. It was the method's flaw. Linear effort can't compound against chaos. Now look at the 1%. They don't add more willpower. They subtract the noise. Real change starts with removal, creating a vacuum where old habits starve. They clear low-value distractions, endless meetings, reactive emails, to free mental space for high-impact work. This strategic disappearance isn't lazy. It's physics. Without subtraction, you're layering habits on a faulty foundation, diluting focus until nothing sticks. The wealthy know willpower is unreliable, so they engineer inevitability, letting systems carry the load. At the heart is identity, homeostasis, your brain's stubborn guard against change. Neural pathways are like ruts in a road, deepened by repetition. They pull you back to familiar behaviors. Discipline reinforces the worker bee loop. Push hard, reward lightly, repeat the grind. It wires you to see yourself as someone who must try harder, not someone who designs ease. Self-help gurus peddle this myth, glorifying the struggle to sell more courses, but it blocks the operator mindset, where goals flow naturally. Once you see this trap, the escape begins with redesigning your environment. This redesign isn't about new apps or planners. It's about hacking your surroundings so that good choices happen without a fight. Why does environmental design work so well? Your environment shapes about 80% of your daily behavior, according to behavioral science, far more than any burst of willpower ever could. Discipline relies on constant mental policing, which exhausts you, but a tuned environment bypasses that entirely. It turns potential into momentum by making success the path of least resistance. The stakes are high. Ignore this, and even the best intentions crumble under daily chaos. Master it, and goals unfold passively, freeing your mind for bigger things. This is how the 1% operate. They don't summon energy. They eliminate the need for it. What exactly is environmental design? It's a friction audit, systematically removing barriers to productive actions, while amplifying obstacles to distractions. Think of it as engineering your space, schedule, and tools to favor the version of you that achieves effortlessly. No vague intentions, just targeted tweaks that compound over time. For instance, if focus is your goal, don't rely on just ignoring notifications. Redesign so distractions become inconvenient. The core principle: low friction for wins, high friction for losses. This shifts you from reactive grinder to proactive architect, where behavior aligns with identity without force. How do you put this into practice? Start with a simple audit. Walk through your day and note where you derail: social media scrolls, snack raids, or endless email checks. Then, invert the friction for deep work blocks. Lock your phone in a drawer, or use apps like Freedom to block sites during set hours. Make checking it require unlocking a timed safe. Set up your workspace with only essentials: a single notebook, noise-canceling headphones, and a water bottle right there so starting flows instantly. Automate routines too. Prep meals the night before in visible containers, or use smart plugs to dim lights at bedtime. Cueing rest without debate. I applied this during my reset. Cleared my desk of everything but my laptop and a timer. Hid snacks in the garage and scheduled email to one 30-minute slot. Suddenly, hours extended without the usual drag. The common pitfall: people tweak once then expect magic, or lean on motivation when friction sneaks back. Build physical barriers instead. It's not sexy, but it's effective. One client I coached struggled with late-night gaming. We moved the console to the attic, adding a 10-minute hassle that killed the urge. Now he reads instead, stacking wins effortlessly. Your quick win today: pick one habit, like avoiding junk food, and add 10x friction. Store treats in opaque bags at the back of the highest shelf. Test it for a week. You'll notice the pull weakens as the environment takes over. This sets the foundation. But for lasting power, you need to align your deeper self. Environment gets you halfway, but without rewiring your core self, old pressures will sabotage the setup. Why are the stakes so critical here? Systems only stick if your identity supports them. Otherwise, the old struggler narrative creeps in, pressuring you to revert under stress. Discipline fosters a temporary performer mindset, but identity inevitability forges permanence, making achievement feel like who you are, not what you do. This neural upgrade turns goals into defaults, subtracting effort as behaviors automate. The 1% thrive on this. Their success isn't willed, it's wired, creating passive progress that outlasts any fad. What does this shift entail? It's moving from "I try to be disciplined" to "I am the person who designs ease into my life." Identity is your brain's operating system, shaped by repeated thoughts and actions. It dictates defaults without conscious push. No fluffy mantras. This is about embedding an operator lens, where you see challenges as design problems, not willpower tests. Over time, it dissolves resistance, aligning actions with an upgraded self that expects results. How do you make it real? Tie daily non-negotiables to your new identity. Small, consistent proofs that reinforce the change. Start a 5-minute journal each morning. Write 3 statements like "I am the person who builds friction-proof routines effortlessly," or "My environment serves my operator goals." Speak them aloud. Then act on one micro step, like adjusting a single desk item to affirm control. Track weekly. Note how decisions flow differently. As neural pathways deepen, the new loops. In my transformation, I shifted from "I force myself to write" to "I am a system creator who outputs daily." It began with logging 1 win per day, building evidence until hesitation vanished. Now, creation happens on autopilot. Avoid superficial affirmations that fade. Focus on rewiring through evidence and repetition, letting actions etch the identity. Pitfalls like inconsistency undo it. So, anchor to triggers. Post-it notes on your mirror or app reminders tied to routines. The real payoff: Passive achievement where effort decreases as inevitability grows. A friend rewired from gym hater to fit designer by journaling. I craft movement into my day while prepping workout clothes nightly. Months later, exercise is seamless. No grind required. Integrate this with your environment, and the full escape locks in. Replace the discipline trap with environmental design and identity shifts to make productivity inevitable, not exhausting. Audit one friction point in your space today and journal your new operator identity to start the momentum. Comment below your biggest discipline fail. We'll build from there. Subscribe for the full series on breaking free from old limits.